Okay, guys. I was planning on doing this, what I'm about to do, or explain. I was planning on going through this uh, probably within a few days of ladder starting, and I'm gonna log out and get another character so that I can know what I'm doing, what I did in this ladder, and this ladder is gonna last a while. So if you're thinking about making an assassin, you still have plenty of time. Okay, we'll go with this chick. I'm playing around with their gear because I'm bored. I need to get that helmet back into the community stash or whatever, the account stash. All right, bear with me. I have a very slow computer. As my friend Justin says, it's a potato. Bad shot. All right, the reason why I'm showing you this character is because this character is what I used essentially to get to hell difficulty 6 or 7 times now. What I do is I don't really worry about doing anything fancy. I do what I can do. I thought she had gear on her, but I guess that's all on. Okay, I'm gonna jump onto another character. This character isn't leveled or anything yet. Getting ready to make her run to the forge also. One of the biggest problems with making forge runners is you have to get there. And especially in ladder, early in ladder, you aren't necessarily gonna get people to rush you. You have to get up to level 30 at least to get rushed anyway, because then you can be a bumper. Otherwise, they're really not going to be interested in helping you out a lot. Okay, I'll turn this down just a little bit. Seems like it hasn't affected the level of my voice, but it's gotten rid of a lot of noise. All right. And the reason why I went and got this chick is because she's the next one online to do the run. Uh, and I've collected quite a few of these little arms here. The reason why I do this with an assassin is because she's got a special ability that none of the other characters, as far as I can tell, can do. And that's, she can put on very powerful weapons at very low levels. And her weapons are boots. So what I start out with is Sigon's set. So as I'm leveling for the first few levels, I'm just trying to get enough strength in. I don't have the shield here because it's on another character as help them buff. But I do have the full set if I want to actually run that. I'm also putting together the Aratha set because it's very handy, especially when you get into nightmare difficulty, to get these resistances on. Just don't have the helmet. Most of the Sigon pieces don't matter. You just need 2 pieces. And that gives you this 30% increased attack speed. And, the gloves are very important because they're the ones that get that attack speed. So you need the gloves and the boots. But you can go gloves, boots, and belts. Gloves, boots, and belt, and that'll give you magic find also, which doesn't hurt. Might help a couple extra charms pop out or something like that. And running through nightmare. So just to get me going, I have the Hisru set. And I'll put this on as soon as I can, level 3. And just that extra kick damage. And I don't have a boot that can tell you the kick damage. Oh yeah, I might actually have a chain boots. Kick damage 6 to 12. It's 10 to 20 for a pair of greaves. Again, I can't show you that, but trust me on there. So I run normal, essentially up to level 25-ish, which is when I get on to Sigan's war boots, or yeah, war boots that I upped. And this gets me through Nightmare. These boots. I don't need, like, here's her weapon the whole time. This. Well, that comes on at level 21. This comes on at level 7. See, the whole thing is Talon. She only uses Talon. And that's just all she needs is Talon. Because she's got all that elemental charmage in her inventory, so she can wreck. And I'll max this pretty much first. Though, burst of speed is really handy. So you want to go with burst of speed. I would say try to get 5 points in by the time you have Talon maxed. And by the time you have Talon maxed, you should probably have already gone down here to get Dragonflight. Really helps with travel. And, you know, jumping enemies. Getting you right in the middle of the action. And as I'm leveling, which, you know, pretty quickly you fill out 5, 6 points. I start going, and I'll fill this out. Usually right around level 30 is when I'll have this. It's these 5 skills, 1 point into them, and then I start pumping points into Blade Shield. Blade Shield is really important. If you have any cold damage on any of your charms, and I think I made sure that there's at least one. Yeah, right here. If you have any cold damage on your charms, those blades will freeze the enemies. May slow them. I can't remember. Probably depends on the cold damage, but it does do that frozen effect. You know, slows them, and it's essentially like a little decrepify to every enemy that's hit you. That's really important because you're not that strong. You also leech with your blades also, so you want to have that on all the time. They've increased the duration of it. And also understand that I'm not making you a romp through hell build. You can romp through hell with this character, but you need really top-notch gear. You need a Beast, a Fortitude, probably a Storm Shield. Yeah. Myrmidon Greaves of some sort. Mirrored Boots actually are the ones that I'm kind of going for because the strength is 163. Myrmidon Greaves are 208. And that's a big requirement there. 208. Even for a strength-based character, that's pretty high. You don't see a lot of people running around with sacred armors unless they're just like, you know, hoping. For some reason, they got confused. I'm keeping this around because they're mirrored boots and I plan to throw 6 skulls at them to see if I can get something better. But this tutorial, by the way, that I'm doing right now has nothing to do with traps. We are not even going to look at the trap tree. Except for this, yeah, that's right. We are going to look at the trap tree, but we're not a trapper, aside from this Blade Sentinel and Blade Shield. You can use Blade Sentinel, Blade Fury, to hit at a range if you don't want to jump over there if something's particularly dangerous. Dolls, for instance, you know, you can use this to kill them from across the river, or across the gap or whatever. But you'll need a pretty strong weapon for that, and as you saw, that's not a strong weapon. The blades really take a long time to kill stuff. If I have a Bartux on swap, then that's actually an option. So maybe I'd put a Spirit and a Bartux on swap, and then I can swap to Blade Shield. And I'm also getting a pretty decent +4 to skills when I'm doing Burst of Speed and Blade Shield buffing. Really, there isn't a whole lot of creativity here in a way, even though you never see people playing this character. And through normal and nightmare, it's so strong, it can't be stopped. I literally start, and I could make a video, maybe I will when I level this character, I'll record the whole thing and post that. This chick will go through an 8-player game and just tear through everything. It's not even a fight. Right up to Bale, kill Bale, go into Nightmare, romp right through that, not even a fight. I usually like to get to level 35, so I try to make games where people join and I'm in a little bit of a fest. And also having those fatter enemies really helps because the kicks have to do the damage that they do in order for you to leech. I've got a crazy amount of leech. Like I put 2 Kicksins on sometimes, or yeah, I found a fucking mantled finally. Funny, I find a mantled after I find what was the Uber item I found before I found this? Well, I definitely had gotten a couple of Annies before I got to this. What was that? Because I found something really ridiculous. Really early. Oh, I don't remember. I have a terrible brain. Yeah, this is just being stored here. It's the only one I've got, so. I haven't been very successful in this ladder, but I have gotten myself a Mosaic build that's pretty strong, even though when I show you her gear, you're going to be like, hey, what? And that's what we're building for. Is I know the reason why you want to play this ladder is completely obvious to me. You want to make a Mosaic build. And the best way to make a Mosaic build is Forge Run, because those runes drop from the Forge. I have gotten 2 goals and a Mao, and an Ist, and pole, I think 3 poles. Still haven't found a foul yet. Funny. I've pulled a Vex, like 4 goals, you know, just out of the game in general. But really, the best way to do this is to Forge Run. And yeah, you're gonna get bummed out because you're gonna get a co out of there. You're gonna be like, what the hell? I just got a co. I did all that for a co. Yeah, it takes me 1 day to get something ready to go get rushed to the River of Flame. And I'll admit, this character is not the character that will demolish the River of Flame. But if it's close, and the right enemies are on the field, you can batter your way to that and finish it. Put on a smoke, an Ancient's Pledge. Mine still is wearing an Ancient Pledge right now. My big kicker, the one that I had in a minute ago. And get your resistances up enough that you can tolerate the enemies. And maybe you'll find a couple of BS little rings. Or maybe you go into a free game and people hook you up there. These little damage charms are huge, because look at this. Do the math on that. These are all like level 9, level 10. There's a couple level 17s, just because, you know, things happen at level 16, 17. Look at all that damage. That does a ton of damage. When I'm at level 16, I'm one-shotting stuff in just with my claw attack, not even using Talon, because for a while, you're not going to be able to Talon because of Mana Leech. I'm getting 7% off of this. It already had some, so I put in 2 chip skulls to raise that up a little bit and give me some life leech too. Level 11, I think that, you know, right around level 12 is when I actually start like being unstoppable, and it's not hard to get there. Trust me, because I do have some. Isn't there a level 5 in here somewhere? Yeah, there we go. Just one. So, you know, collecting these things is crucial. You're not going to have them when you first start out. I admit that. You're not going to have any of this stuff. But you're going to have access to chain boots. Chain boots are actually pretty good and normal for a kicker. And as you're playing along, and like I said, you may jump into a freebie game and somebody throws Sigon's boots down and you know you're good for normal. You will face roll normal with those boots. There's a few other, there's a unique Greaves also that is really good, just because it's got dex and strength on it. Terrahotch, I was trying to remember the name. Sorry about that. I'll try to remove it, but I might not, so apologize. Yeah, this actually wouldn't be a bad set if you wanted to magic find, just because it has a ton of magic find and resistances. You know, you don't need any kind of weapon for a kicker. That's why this weapon here does nothing. 24 damage, and I'll run around in hell difficulty with this thing. Actually, I have a little bit better one. Is this the better one? Yeah, I think I was using this in hell difficulty. No, this one. Yeah. I have a strength also that doesn't appear to be on this character. And maybe that's what I'm using on my kicker, is a strength, because it has that crushing blow on it. Huge. And that is what this character is for, is producing that crushing blow damage. What your main goal is to be able to kill bosses in the end with a kicker. That's why you're making one, is to kill the Ubers, to kill DC, to kill Baal, to kill Diablo, without it taking 9 years. And you can do it with damage, but like, you try to kill one of those guys with bows on, you realize you need prevent monster heal, all this other stuff, because you're just not out DPSing their gen. This build does that, like LOLs them, essentially. You put on a strength, a G face, and here, let me jump to the kicker now. So you got an idea. Really, you just need Esru's boots, just to get you from level 3 to... You can get this on at level 6, but it's usually around level 8, I think, that I get it on. I do have a bunch of... are they up here? In here. Yeah, I have a bunch of these laying around. 5 to strength, level 13. So that makes sure that I can get that stuff on, even though I have some level 2s down here. And even some level 1s, but I don't remember what I did with them. I didn't throw them away. I do have them. Damn. They might be here. They're somewhere. Trust me. I didn't throw them away. I don't know if this is valuable, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, let me go get the kicker now. What you're essentially doing is you're just kicking your way there. Oh, yeah. Character. There was a game I used to play called Marvel Heroes where you could just swap characters right on the spot in the middle of the fight. It's kind of broken. And then I think they made it so that you had to be like rested for a second. And then they said, no, it's just too much. You're going to have to start in town. Kicker. Okay. We'll bring in... this one I actually might keep around as my permanent kicker. I do have on non-ladder. These are my ladder characters. Probably could tell if you were playing. I'll say this. Hustle is not a bad merc weapon. I've been using this. So she's got a treachery, a hustle, and a vamp case. Yeah, I needed to do that to be able to get something on, and I never took it out. Yeah, maybe I'll put a 1540 in there when, I find one. Yeah, if anybody has a sin torch that want to trade for a barb torch, it's actually not a bad one. I actually do have a sin torch. I just hold this one on this character because of so she get the Leviathan on. Really. She was using the smoke. I don't know where it is. Yeah, goblin toes are not bad if you can tolerate the not having fun run walk speed. They have a lot of crushing blow. If you're using the strength and that's 50% right there. And then the G phase gets you up to 85%. You would have to up these because that kick damage sucks. But these become mirrored boots, which are what I consider to be the best option if you're not going to go with upped gore riders or shadow dancers. The strength requirement for the Grieve, the Myrmidon Greaves, is just, even though that does help your damage percentage a lot, every percent that you get. Yeah, like this is not a newbie character. She's wearing a Leviathan. And I finally found an excuse. I didn't realize there was 50 strength on that. I could actually put on Myrmidon Greaves. I'd probably go fetch them then at some point. But yeah, this chick is not a young character. She's beaten stuff in hell. She hasn't actually beaten Diablo yet, though. Not very strong. She got what she needed, which was the forge. That was her goal. But eventually, she'll get nicer gear. Maybe I. No, I'll probably just delete her. So I got a spirit, and I got Sigon's shield here, and I do have an actual spirit shield somewhere, but put it out where I can grab it for this chick yet. It's a ward, so she can wear it. And gear is more important for this character than it is for the Mosaic build. Here we'll demonstrate how I use her. She just barely just ran through hell. All right, let's go find something to kill. I keep it on I keep this on right click Talon because it auto targets when you have it on right click, whereas on left click it doesn't, and that keeps you out of trouble a lot. Am I in normal? Yeah, I am in normal. I was thinking this was a little too easy. It's because I logged in that other girl. Okay, well, I can't terrorize this. But, oops. Something like that. Increment my convention there. So, let me think about what I want to go kill. I'll go kill Rakanishu. It's been 30 years I've been calling him Rakanishu, or 20 years since Rakanishu, so it's kind of hard to... My friend pointed out to me it was Rakanishu because that's what the little fallen guys yell. It's like, yeah, that's me paying attention again. Oh, he's right here. Cool. We'll clean out the mess. So as you see, it's not a huge difference between normal. Actually, I didn't fully buff. And as you'll see, this blade shield actually kills stuff, and you can leech with it too. It's awesome. So something will hit you, and then they'll get hit by the blade shield, and then my life will go up. You saw it happen a little bit there, but there's just my merc was too good in there. All right, Rakanishu, going for you. Now this is a one enemy at a time character. I'm not doing. Here, we'll go do Tristram too. I think I farmed Tristram with this girl a lot. Not with the Leviathan. This is new, but damage reduction helps. And it's a pretty good one. It's 25%. Really, what you're worried about if you're taking a lot of damage is you're worried about these guys because you can't leech them. Get over here. Something happens too, like when you get to hell, the monsters have a lot of damage reduction, so your leech works a lot less. And you know, when you're going through for a first time run, to be able to kill stuff this efficiently, and as long as you have the right boots on, you can do that. It's really good against fat enemies. It took me a little while, you know, but I got there. Like I said, this is a very budget build. And there's all then undead in here. They're totally screwing with me. They make me run away now. Alright, well, you got an idea. I got amped, so I have to leave. Alright, so you got an idea. Like, through Nightmare, this is a hilarious build. And like I said, level 35, that's on in normal. Level 45, that could be on in normal, but it's probably on somewhere in Nightmare. Yeah, no skin, right. Level 34, level 25. Well, the shields that I use get upgraded as I'm going along. That's a blade barrier for the high defense. But I actually, you know, Ancient's Pledge is a good shield. It's a really good budget shield. Level 46. You know, obviously I showed you I have other rings that come before these. Immortal Kings, level 29. Smoke can be like as low as level, was it 37 or something? Or if I have a smoke in here. I don't think so. Rattle Cage. This is actually pretty good because of the crushing blow on it. And it makes you purple. Everybody likes to be purple, right? I don't know if that's true. I hope it isn't true. 6, because I meant to press 3. Wait, we're not even using that character. Alright, so now I've given you an overview of how to get to hell difficulty. No gear, essentially. Is your only thing you're worrying about is leech, resistances, and boots. Okay. This is my trapper. I never actually build trappers, but I built one because I was having so much trouble getting through the River of Flame that I respect her to yeah, lightning kicker, basically. Now, this is the character that I was wanting to build by making all of those other characters. And this is where it gets complicated, because now you went from having skills to waste to having to really allot them wisely. So we'll go to the tree again. Okay, now this chick is the Mosaic build. There's a lot of schools of thought on how to go with this. You could go, what I did is I maxed Phoenix Strike. And then you can max one of these and say I'm a lightning build and I'm just gonna go dink dink. These are one, and then this is maxed. So that I can do other stuff like pump some fade in and crap like that. There's always options. Maybe if you wanted to do the blade thing, I don't think it's that good that you need to. It's good if you have skills to waste, but it's not good if you don't. So I put 5 points into weapon block. That gets me up to 50%, obviously. I also got really lucky and found a man songs, so I can get that weapon block up to 54% chance. But I don't have it on when I have man songs, so it work that way. But I get my burst of speed up to, 60%, which means I could probably have sacrificed 5 points out of that. Because I'm only getting 3 for 5. It doesn't seem really right. Okay, well, I could take at least 3 points out, but I might even be able to put it down at 5 and pretty much get the same effect. I didn't have a man songs when I made this character. I had the spirit and the Gon shield. So Talon, it's base 20, which is awesome. And everything else is 1 point. I have a little bit of help off of one of my claws for this thing, but I don't use it. So I use this to travel and this to kick after I charge up. And I charge up first with this. So there's 5 points into there, Tiger Strike. 5 points into this, Cobra Strike. Oh, I had that backwards. No, I didn't have it backwards. I just thought that this one was the level. This one, I thought these were reversed on the tree. That's okay. Alright. So when I charge up, I charge this up first. Then I charge this up because that makes this stronger. And by the time I get this charged up, I probably have had to kick an enemy a couple of times just because I'm taking damage while I'm doing this. And then I go to this and I charge this up. It's at 14 and this is at 13, 14. And I'm just leveling these up one at a time as I get levels. And I kind of thought maybe if I got it to 15, I wasn't doing the math, so I don't know exactly where I ended up, but I'm level 89. So I figure that'll be level 90, 91, 92, 93. And I'll have these all at 15 at level 90. That's not bad. No, that's fine. At that point, I don't know. Maybe I put some points into this, thinking that this is really actually enough damage. So I'll put points into this, and then I'll put points into this, and then I'll put points into this. Not points, but charges. I'll charge this, and this, and then I'll decide if I want to do 1 charge, 2 charges, or 3 charges on this one. And then once that's done, I'm off to murdering everything. So let's watch, because it's a spectacle. And I've made you wait this long. So my favorite thing to do is the chaos, just because it's reliably easy. And hilariously dense. I'm looking for density, and I will take that, even though it'll only get me through the river. Let's make sure I'm buffed. My buff's fresh. These are good. Okay, my Merc is wrecking. That's not good. There, I had to leech a little bit, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. One of the reasons why I do that little kick is to reset timer, but I'm also making sure that I haven't put anything into this yet. I kind of overshot. And I want the level 3 one for Phoenix Strike, which I've got now, and I'm fully ready to go. So as far as this being overpowered, I'm kind of glad I waited to make this video until I did, because I was like, this is broken, we need to fix it, it's going to cause people lag, and I just thought it was terrible. Like, this was just totally broken. I was taking advantage of it because it makes a very good magic finder. I haven't actually showed you this girl's gear yet. I'm trying to get these guys to get out here so I can kill them without them not delivering. I hate to see a boss blow up over lava because I don't get anything out of it then, except the XP. And I'm in the river, so I'm not really getting much anyway because I'm at level 89. And with only 1 player in the game. And this is what you want to do. Okay, I'll come back for that. Oh, I don't have a gem. I'm gonna have to find one anyway. A question that caused me to make this video had in it that you really don't need Telly with this. You don't need an Enigma. It helps because there's going to be places where you just can't find an enemy to travel a gap over. So yeah, that would definitely be better overall. But the actual what you get out of the fight with the dragon flight is I'll show you. Wham! You won't get that with teleport, so you might teleport into a mob and not be see, I just froze all the guys around me, so I just didn't take any hits, and then I'm talent and they're dead. You know, because I've got the Ice Blast and the Phoenix Strike there, so I get that AoE of cold that freezes everything. Oh, there we go. Remember, I have to run back and do that. I hate this spawn. It's because the boss almost always falls off the edge. And I hate that. I was talking about it a minute ago. Hate that. They really need to figure out a way to have those drops drop on like the nearest tile that's not, you know, lava. So I can have it. That was a burr. I know that was a burr. You jerks. Well, the devs aren't jerks. I'm not saying they're jerks. The monster is a jerk for going over there. You know, in the late '90s, I can see the philosophy of, haha, you gotta lure it off there, man. You know, like be a pro. But now it's like it's just a pain in the ass. I've got to keep my buffs up. Like as you see, I'm not really looking at the ground that hard because I need to get to the next mob, and that's one of the problems. So if you have a friend that you're playing with that's like a horker or something, well, maybe a horker isn't the best option because you're just freezing the crap out of everything. Yeah, I love it when stuff takes a lot of damage, man. Oh, go crazy. It's like the bandsaw of the elemental death. Oh, it's the Grand Charm. Okay, let's kill these guys. Now, one of the biggest problems with this character is that those things have a duration. And I can guarantee you, and I'll demonstrate it to you, that no matter how fast you are, you cannot keep these things up. Diablo gets here. So what you do is you go out to the river. I don't want that in. Oh god, I have to keep something. Alright. Oh, I dropped my keyboard. I have one of those desks. Alright. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, as opposed to just going and killing them, which I can do, is because I want to show you the meteor. This is a little bit more reliable. Oop, I'm doing this all terrible and discombobulated. Really, I want these, and then, oop. Did it go off? Yes. Okay. Come on. Now I have to be quick, and I'm gonna be close because of load times. Hurry up, hurry up. Oh, and I actually found something almost interesting. It's actually crap, but take it because it's an elite item. Maybe I could put it on a character that needs mana leech and only has their helmet to spare. It's all the time, right? Okay, what you just saw me do, you could probably tell that I could do that in an 8-player game too. It just might take, you know, twice as long. Maybe 3 times as long. Those Venom Lords do have a lot of hit points, so when I get into 3 or 4-player games, it takes a couple seconds for me to kill them. Yep, wasn't expecting much. If that was Life Leech on there, this would be such a good Merc helmet just for that fire absorb. We have Hearth now, but I think, is he wearing a Hearth? No, he's wearing a Bulwark. I decided to make these new words just so that I had them, so that I can, you know, say it's actually a pretty good word. Put that on a winged helm. It rolled really low because this is actually a 15% helmet. So knock 15% off of that. That's what this actually rolled. It's a pretty low roll. So if I re-rolled it, I'd almost be guaranteed a better helmet. But I'm not interested in rolling another of those. I actually was wearing it on this character because I really love the way that kind of helmet looks. She uses she uses the Hearth. Okay. Yeah, there's a fire absorb one too. I guess that's called something else. I thought that was Hearth. So it sounds warm, you know. Warm, it's the Hearth, and, you know, yay. When this one comes up, This character has a little bit of trouble with some of the things, basically poison, because that's where she really sucks. Pretty good in the other departments. But let me show you the gear so you understand why. Alright, well, you know that she has the hearth. And that's only there because of the cannot be frozen. I would totally wear the G face if it wasn't for the cannot be frozen. I don't have a you know, what's that thing called? Ravenfrost yet. Okay, she's wearing a wealth. Because let me go see. We'll open this up. Magic Find isn't that great, but it's good. It's as good as it's. This is actually where you're like at 180%. I think is where you start being a magic finder, and you're not just carrying it along for the fun. But she's a gold finder with a fair amount of magic find. She's got chance guards. She's got a ring to give her 30 gold resistance. She's got a gold wrap that I upped to a battle belt so she could have all 4 slots. A ring with resistances. I'd like to find a cold poison one, and then I'd be feeling a little better about things. Alders that I upped to get that 163, 40% faster run walk, and 46% fire resistance. That's better than anything else I found. I had a all resist over here. If you're not going magic find, where is it? Oh no, it should be over here. Yeah, this is my other amulet that I was wearing before. Then I found this. Like a 35% chance of I'm gonna use it. Got a Keeds and then a couple Shogakushas. And resistances and resistances and resistances. It really does help you survive. No doubt about it. This is the good one because I had a good base for it, and I was totally impatient and put this in. I thought I might actually run a blade shield, but as I started using the character, I realized blade shield not needed on this build. As you see, I didn't get threatened at all. I'm leeching well beyond, and it's like life tap. When I fight Uber Diablo, it's just hilarious. He doesn't touch me, and you know DC. He doesn't touch me, and he dies very probably 5 times slower than I just killed regular Diablo. Hey, did I just cap out? No, not yet. Yeah, let me take these out. Kicker can try them. Put them on here. Supposed to get the helmet off a Kicker. Found that. I was really unhappy that it wasn't a Griffin's. Got last night, I think. These are a really good option. Through Nightmare difficulty. If you get them level 25, it's very low. Like you could go Sigons. I saved these. They've just worked so well. 40% cold resistance is not shabby. But you know, when you get into Nightmare difficulty or late normal difficulty, throw these on, and it's much better than these. It's probably almost double the damage when you jump up to a new version like Elite. Like going from Greaves to Demon Hide boots, it almost doubles the damage right there. So you're going to be very motivated to find newer boots. And as you see, I've got just boots everywhere, all tiers of boots with different flavors of resistances on them, and I'm not committed to wearing any of them. I just like the fact that this one has it's got more of the eyes dotted than anything else. That 10% damage goes to mana is actually really important, because these charge ups take mana, and if I get mana burned, oops, I'm eating potions instead of swapping around. Like, it doesn't take that much mana, but it still takes some mana to trigger these things. So making sure that, you know, if you're being mana burned by one of those wraiths or whatever, and something else is mana burning you, you're not just sitting at one and not able to do anything. Because they're hitting you, they're pumping your mana up just enough that you can keep adding charges, and also, most importantly, not discharging with an empty attack. Because you will discharge your discharges with that empty attack. Actually, that doesn't matter, now that I think about it. I was thinking that you might lose the charges by doing that. But no, you don't, because you got the mosaics on. So what I did, and I say that this is a very useful method, is I just ran those kickers to hell difficulty and got to the forge. And once I got myself a couple goals and a couple mouths, you know, by that time I had played a lot. You know, like I was running around magic finding and doing other stuff with all of those characters at the end of the difficulties before I moved them on to the next one. Like I would get them up, them up to, like, you know, at least level 40 before I went on to Nightmare. So I'd run around in hell difficulty. I would join games like Act 1 games where I could rely on there being a few players in the game, and then just go run Ancient's Way and stuff like that. You know, not really going. I don't like to kill quest bosses in games ahead of players, so I would go into the Frigid Highlands, for instance, and clear that all out. I mean, not the Frigid Highlands, but the area plateau, and you know, maybe clear out level 1 of the Crystalline Passage to make the way easy for them. Stuff like that, if they happen to get that far. You know, just Act 5 stuff, just to get those to level 40. And then I would jump into Nightmare and I would just roll right through it like it wasn't there, and I'd carry a bunch of people with me just because, you know, they weren't able to keep up. They were happy that, you know, the difficulty was gone and out of their way. And Nightmare, what I would usually do is I would make Bale walk games, and also join games that people needed Bale killed, and just run that. And also do a little of the just running around killing stuff. Nightmare gets hard enough. Because you're really not doing any area effect, like freezing and crap like that, so. This is the tutorial of how to make a non-trapping Kicksin. I've been doing these for a long time. I've even settled bets, people, on whether these characters can, like, solo the Ubers. And I've done it with badly geared Kicksins. I've soloed them. Me and a necromancer who was casting life tap on everything got through the preliminary parts of it, and then I decided that I needed some, so I had him bring in a sorceress into the Burning Tristram, and yeah, it was funny watching him run and run and run and run. It was the first time he'd ever been into that area, so he didn't know what was coming, and every once in a while I'd see him teleport across the screen, and then a bunch of mobs would go flying by me while I'm, like, you know, killing Bale. It's like, yeah, dude, it's okay. I brought you in here to help me, but, you know, get out of here so I can finish the Mephisto. And I kept dying right before I finished Mephisto, and I'm like, you know what? If you weren't in the game, I think I would make it. So get out of here, and we'll see what torch we get. We got a paladin torch out of that. Yeah, sometimes you just don't have the it's new in a ladder. You don't have the resources. You want something that's effective. You know, a smiter is a pretty good option. I'm not gonna diss on smiters for that job, but they have the same problem that this character has. Is they're focused on one enemy, and if you don't have an exile, and you're not life tapping instantly, that can get really hairy. So having a buddy with you that can cast life tap, have a wand on your offhand that can cast life tap. Something like that. I didn't have that, and I would recommend it for sure. You know, don't let anything curse the enemies. that you're wearing. Don't let your merc have anything that can curse enemies and like it's going to survive anyway. Yeah, thank you for taking that one hit for me. Alright, I think I've pretty much covered all of the bases. I'll go back to the tree and I'll you've seen me play, so you know how to do this. And the reason why I made this video is because I sat in a game for 4 hours with somebody that had made a game and was asking questions, and then they left and somebody else came in and had almost the same questions and the same questions, and I've covered all those in here. Is the thing that you need to remember, and I don't know if I illustrated this enough or if you've skipped over it, the boots matter. That is key, because that'll the life tap effect that you get off of this is first calculated by the boots, and then the damage that you add from this, you know, I've got it up to 1140% damage. That makes this work better by so much. It's hilarious. Like, literally one kick and I'll go from almost dead to full heal, full life. And I've got 1300 life. In one kick I can get 1300 leech. It's basically life tap. It doesn't always work like that, honestly. But there's these hits that come out of her, and she doesn't have any crushing blow right now. There's these hits that come out of her that just, wham! My life is full. And it's regular. It's like every third hit does that. So, I don't know what's going on with Talon, if the first hit does its max damage and then there's like a nerf on the rest of the hits. But it does seem like that you will get these like bonkers strong hits. Based on the amount of life leech. Like, I'll get like, you know, an eighth to a quarter of my life on one hit. And Talon, you know, you're hitting, what am I hitting here? Like 4 kicks? I think it goes up to 5, essentially, when you get up to around level 25, 30 or something. Maybe 4 kicks is max, I don't know. But, you know, one of those 4 kicks, if they all hit, will give you this big boom of hit points that might be as much as your whole life pool. A call to arms would be handy, but not really. You saw what I did. The enemies never really get a chance to hit you because you kill them too fast. And they're not really mobile, even if they're not getting killed right away. The areas that I would recommend running this character in: Bloody Foothills, Bridget Highlands. Think about all of those structures that you can attack in Act 5. So those areas are great because, let's say that you clear out all the monsters here and you have to run back across the map. Well, as you're running back, dragonflight into a few of those structures. Don't kill them, because they're travel points. They'll keep your charges going so that you can run to the next, you know, fortifications and bounce off of one of those, and now you're all the way across the map without killing any enemies or fighting any enemies, and you still got your charges up. Burst of speed is huge because that's your travel. You know, if you can get 60% run walk speed, and, you know, don't be stupid and put on heavy armors and stuff like that, even though I did. It's a medium armor, but so I lose, I think, 10% run walk speed with this armor on over Dusk Shroud. So you want the lightest armor, you want the fastest boots, maybe even a few of those speed charms down here if you are really rich and you have that stuff. And make sure that, you know, Natalia's boots, if you up these get into the damage ranges. I think they get up to 110 damage, where this gets up to 146, 7 damage. So mirrored boots are much better, but these are survivable if you up these. And considering the requirements are pretty low on bone weave boots, where you start getting into, I guess if you're going to have a spirit on your offhand, then mirrored boots aren't too high, because that's just another 8 points or 7 points there. 8 points. 7 points. Mosaics. This one is pretty much as obvious as it gets. Your first option is Phoenix Strike. Your second option is Claws of Thunder, uh, and Claws of Ice. Those are two good options. The fire one is so effective that I don't think that you should really worry about it unless you get a Phoenix Strike and a Flames of the Fist, or Fist Strike, Flame thing, whatever. Fist of Fire. Cobra Strike is cool, and Tiger Strike is cool. I'm not gonna tell you not to pick ones like I did here, but at the same time, you might want to just stick with 2 Phoenix Strikes. And hopefully, if you're really patient, or if you're shopping, and you have the ability to select the kind you want, I would go with a Phoenix Strike and a Blades of Ice, +3s, and a Phoenix Strike and Claws of Thunder. Those are the 2 that I would go with. Even though people will probably tell you to do the Fist of the Fire or whatever, I don't think that that's the most. I think that fire damage is plenty already without any help. The meteor is ridiculous, as you saw what it did to Diablo. You'll notice I'm really not killing him. Oh, there goes his hit points. Once they build up, it's a real melter. And the this one here is really strong too. If the enemy isn't resisting it, it's a pretty strong one, because it leaves that blob of sort of meteor damage on the ground that really does help melt it, because you've probably added 5 or 6 of these, stacked on top of each other by the time you've killed 2 or 3 enemies in that mob. So now the average fire damage is actually the thing killing stuff. Depending on if it's a fire immune. I can talk about this build all day. Let's talk about skills. I mean, not skills. Attribute. I've got too many points into this, even though it's not crazy. Because when I first ran her, I was trying to put Myrmidon Greaves on before I got the Alders. And I do still have those on another character. Dex, 63 Dex, make sure that I could put on Bartuks. Greater Talons, like the. Why did you do that? Look. You're not gonna find any low level claws with mods on them. I haven't found any, and I've picked up at least 100. Just regular claws, blade talons. I'm not finding any with. Now I think I did at first. Very early on, I think I found one that was +2 to Blades of Ice, and I had it in my inventory for a while. I don't know if the Blizzard, I don't want to accuse them of this because I'm just going off of a very small sample size of my experience, but it seems like I was finding some in like normal, late normal and stuff, and then they just gone. Like it's like somebody said, no, we're not going to allow these things to appear on normal quality claws anymore, because it's just too broken. People are using their kicks, so they need the weakest. So it's like, let's add a little bit of pain in the ass if we can. So 76 strength and 76 dex is not brokenly difficult to achieve, but it does take away some of your hit points. Like, the one character that I built, she got up to 1390, I think, because I didn't have to put any dex in. I didn't have a torch and an Annie at that time. Somebody just gave me this. Beautiful people out there. Okay, sorry. And then 275 points into Vid. That's enough. I don't actually feel like I'm really threatened that harshly. when I engage. But also, you know, as I said earlier, oh, I hope that makes it into the recording because I don't know what the hell just happened. I wasn't moving my mouse when that was wiggling around. It's like trying to freeze or something like that. So I would recommend if you want to just have fun, like for the old days, just oops, didn't mean to click that. All right. I would just go into Haragoth and I would go out and take a look at the enemies, and if they don't seem like, I would stay away from the bloody foothills if it's full of quill rats. Those rats up there because they have a really nasty. Well, for this character, they do poison damage, but they also. Yeah, these guys are a little annoying too because I can't leech them. But it wasn't my intention to play anymore. I'm just sort of finalizing. What would you do as this build? And these are the things that I would do. Is Frigid Highlands, Ariat Plateau, Crystal Passage, Act 5 is all really pretty doable because it's all pretty dense. Glacial Trail, Halls of Pain are really good. Frozen Tundra is really good. Ancient Way is really good. So I would just run Act 5. But if you really want like the most reliably dense areas, then I would do Frigid Highlands, Ariat Plateau, and Frozen Tundra. And you know, if you're really good, what you can do is you can make sure that there's something still alive that's close to, you know, Abaddon and Acheron and what's the other one? I wanted to say something pain, but the pit. The Infernal Pit, yeah, that's right. You know, back in the day, people would talk about doing pit runs. I recommend doing a pit runs with this character too. You can take care of getting from the Outer Cloister to the pit pretty easily. Just cherry pick the elite mobs on the way there. You're gonna hate trying to do catacombs. You're gonna be constantly recharging. The jail, as you see, I didn't even bother getting the waypoint because I'm never going in there. It's just not dense enough. You run out of charges and you have to recharge against stuff that's just annoying and mana leeching you. It's a terrible run for this character. Stony Field, Dark Woods, if they're terrorized, are fun because you have the Dark Woods gives you the underground passage now, which is nice. And if you do the Stony Field, I would recommend doing the underground passage also because it's a level 5 area, 85 area. So the pit is good. Any of these outer areas are pretty good. Arcane Sanctuary is doable, but it has some nuisance-y nature to it. Spider Forest and Flare Jungle, awesome. I have so much fun running those areas. I just plow them like crazy. River of Flame, City of Damned, all of Act 5 is good, but what you'll find the most useful areas. If you don't like logging in and out of games fast, then you can go into City of Damned, clean it out, and then head down to the River of Flame, clean that out, and then take out Diablo, and then rinse and repeat. And as I said, you know, there's a bunch of good dense areas in Act 5. And that's what you're looking for. You're not really worrying about immunities or anything like that. What you're worried about is this thing always full of undead and guys that are poisoning me and doing stuff like that, as opposed to a lot of things that have hit points, or not hit points, but are leechable. You're looking for a lot of leechables so that you can never die. Important. You know, when I'm doing the World Stone, I'll run out there, and if I see those bone mages with the poison, I turn around and I leave. Sorry, not doing this area today. I'm not even going to try to run through it because I'm going to end up at 1 hit point and getting, you know, some dumb thing killing me. Or constantly drinking potions, and that just gets to be a nuisance. I like my potions to be full. I actually did do something, and I ended up killing a bunch of stuff and got some potions back, but I was actually down to like where these were all regular heal potions. Boring. Alright, well, I've given you a pretty good, you know, if you wanted to play this but you didn't know exactly what to do, or you felt like you're having some troubles with it, maybe I've answered some of your questions, because these were the things I've covered. It seemed like a lot of the players didn't quite understand this about kickers. It's all about the boots. Boots are where all the leech starts. You need to get your leech and your damage up before you get your other things up, so that you can make sure that you don't die while you're, you know, running around. Dragon flight instead of teleport. You only use teleport if you have a Enigma on. You only use teleport for like long traveling. You know, oh crap, I'm all the way at this end of the map and I need to get to the other end of the map where the monsters are now, and I don't want to run out of charges. Teleport is great for that. But when you get to the monsters, you want to dragon flight into them so that you do your AoE, freeze them, and then you can use Talon to knock them all down. Put Talon on the right click. As you see, I had to go into the shift stuffs, because I literally filled it all up with all of my charge ups, because I want them all. And I want them all on, because that just makes everything die faster. Then over here I just have that Talon. But since I'm weapon swapping to buff, I don't have a call to arms or anything like that. My man songs. It's the first one I ever found in Diablo 2 or in Resurrected. Never even seen a man songs before. And I've seen everything. I even have Ethereals. Cranium Basher. I don't have a horizon, or I have a bunch of horizons tornadoes, but I throw them away now. But I've never seen a Stormlash. I used to have Azor Wrath. It was like, wow, cool, I have an Azor Wrath. Let me put it on a Paladin. Oh, this sucks. Let me put the Oath back on. Yeah. Okay, well, I've rambled a very long time, and I've made a video that was way longer than I was planning to. But I don't remember stop talking, so I don't think it would be totally boring for you guys. And hopefully this helped you. And if it did, then, you know, thumbs up, like, subscribe, and, you know, I think I might even put this up on Rumble also, because that's a much better platform for I watch it more than I watch YouTube anymore. I actually get information from there. YouTube is just entertainment to me. Alright guys, you have a good night, or else.